Yeah, man. We could not wait for part two, man. We got to drop part two on you because we were talking about how to be a great lover. What makes me a great lover? My wife thinks I'm a great lover. You know what's crazy? I had some people that were commenting on a previous podcast. We were talking about their size matter, and they were like, "He lying, she lying. They not happy with each other." Let me look in the camera and tell you something. I'm a grown man. She's a grown woman. We've been married for 31 plus years. We dated years before that. We've been knowing each other since we were 18, 19 years old. So what I'm telling you is this. We are satisfied, honey. I like all of her. She likes all of me. We ain't got to lie to y'all. We ain't got to lie, Craig. So listen, come on in for part two. We're going to tell you what to do. Naked and Unashamed.
Just takes a little effort, we can work it out. These things go hand in hand, know what I'm talking about. But can we have one without the other, one without the other, yeah. One without the other, one without the other, yeah. We made it through the test, strengthening love and sex. We made it through the test, strengthening love and sex.
All right, y'all, we're back, and we're talking about what makes your lover better than any other lover. We're talking about the Song of Solomon, right?
Right.
Song of Solomon says, "Why is your lover better than all others, O woman of rare beauty? What makes your lover so special? What makes us so special, babe? What makes you happy? Why are you staying with me all these years?"
Oh my gosh, it's such a long list, but one of the things is that we have learned to really communicate with each other. You know, so you can't do the guesswork. Yeah, in our early years, we tried to guess, but I don't have a teleprompter on my head. You don't have one on your head. So it's best to verbalize what your needs, wants, and desires are, as well as your frustrations. And the only way to do that is to continually build on your communication skills.
Yeah, and for me, man, communication is just keeping it 100. You know what I mean? So many times we tiptoe around the tulips,
Right.
and we don't really say we won't say. You languish in boring sex or even painful sex because you think you're doing your spouse a favor by going along to get along. But the best sex you can have is honest sex.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You know, when you're like, no, I like it this way. I like it when you go soft. Or I like it when you go deeper. Or I like it, you know, you have to be honest about what you like. I don't want to go through life holding my breath. And I don't do that with you. You've allowed me this space to be able to communicate what I really want. Hey everybody, it's Spencer stopping by. We got some exciting news. Eden Circle is back open. That's right. We have a Inner Circle program that helps you to take your marriage to the next level through some personalized mentorship. There's two things that are needed in order for your marriage to make it. You need some great coaches. Rhonda and I have been married for 30 plus years, and we want to share with you some of our experiences. And then you need a community of people who are trying to stay married. Wouldn't it be great to share ideas and to build stories together with other couples who are trying to make it? Baby, tell them the benefits of being in our circle.
Some of the benefits of being in our circle is, like Stacy said, the mentorship, the counseling. We have master classes, quarterly meetups. We have fun together. We teach different techniques because we believe in the sanctity of marriage, and we want to keep married people married.
And if you're going to be married, you might as well have fun doing it. We want to help you to show you how to have fun, how to take your lovemaking to the next level, your communication, and to help you in spots when you get stuck, to help you get out of those ruts by coaching and mentorship. So simply go to, listen, if you want to be a part of this circle, go to www.theedencircle.com and register today. We want you in our inner circle. We had a recent discussion about something I wanted to try. My wife was like, yeah, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And so I've learned how not to take it personal when she don't.
Right.
And I get excited when she does. And we've learned how to compromise and to talk through it rather than getting frustrated
Right.
and just sitting there sulking, like, oh, she'll never. And you thinking all these thoughts and you're not sharing it with your spouse. And what happens over time when you don't really honestly communicate, you start pulling apart.
And then some resentment can start to
Resentment
build up.
sets in and you're like, just forget it.
Right.
He's not going to give me what I want. She's not, but that's not the case with us. We had to learn. As a young couple, we were being polite. It's almost like that old MTV show, The Real World. It says, the real world, where people stop being polite and start being real. There comes a time in a marriage where you go through the honeymoon phase where everybody's saying all the right things and tiptoeing around. No, whatever you like. And then you get, around your 7th year of marriage, you're like, look, you get that 7-year itch and you're like, man, if something don't change, I don't know if I'm going to stay. We've removed those barriers because we're saying we can talk about whatever we need to talk about. Fantasies, desires, communication, what I like, what I don't like. But here's the caveat. You must speak truth in love. And you've got to watch the timing. There's a principle you have, baby, called HALT. What does that mean?
HALT is you don't have these conversations that need to be in depth, where it needs to be when the sun is shining in daylight. It's when you're hungry, if you're angry, if you're lonely, or if you're tired.
Don't have those deep conversations if you are hungry, because you ever seen somebody who's hangry? Hunger can lead to agitation. And you're not really listening because your stomach is growling louder than your attention span. What's the A?
Angry.
You can't compromise or communicate when you're angry. You might need to go cool off. Definitely need to cool off, especially if you're trying to ask your wife for something, and she's mad at you. You might as well hang that up. It ain't gonna work no way. Lonely. Why lonely?
Lonely it's like when you just not feeling yourself, like
You're vulnerable.
You're vulnerable. There could be a lot of things that's going on, and you just feel like you're by yourself.
And you tend to compromise when you shouldn't.
Right, which will also lead to resentment.
Because even though you give in to what your spouse wants,
You don't mean it.
It's not true consent.
Right.
And then you resent, and that puts you further in the hole. And then the T was
It's tired.
tired. If you're sleepy, it's late at night.
You already took your melatonin. That's not good work.
It's not a good time. But communication, a great communicator is a great lover. That's what we're trying to say. A great communicator is a great lover. And so it's so important that we learn how to communicate, to ask for the sex we want. There's no reason to stay in a marriage and just keep going through the motions when you're not happy. Number 7 rather, being consistently romantic. Women need more romance than men do. Do you agree?
It depends. It depends on knowing your spouse's love language. Because if you're thinking that romance is going to take the place of if they have acts of service, or if they need more physical touch, or if they like gifts, or whatever your top love language is, that's the one that should be fed.
Let me say it another way. Men have a permanent pilot light that stays lit. If you come up to me and you start rubbing on me, or you want to go down on me, I'm not going to say, stop it, you haven't romanced me today.
Because your number one love language is physical touch.
Men.
Okay. But you said me.
I said men.
Okay, men.
Men have a permanent pilot light. Women must be wooed, must be romanced. Their mind has to be loved on before you can love on their bodies. Do you agree?
I agree. So
that's what I mean when I
Yes,
say
agree.
men.
Okay.
Women must be romanced more than men.
Right, because you don't want 5 minutes before you get ready to go to bed, you're like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get some tonight," and you really haven't checked in with your spouse all day to see where their headspace is, how they're doing. You haven't talked to see if they had a hard day or if the kids are bouncing off the wall. So yes, definitely.
So men, you got to romance. You got to consistently romance your wives.
But romance her the way that she likes to be romanced.
Right. So If she's a flower girl, get her some flowers.
Right.
If she's a note girl, send her a text. If she's a phone call girl, just call and say, hey, I just called to say I love you. If she is a PDA girl, hold her hand while you're walking, right?
Right.
You got to figure out what, because not all women are touchy-feely.
Right.
Some women, their love language is gifts. Some women, act of service, filling up her gas tank, washing her car, taking out the trash, loading the dishwasher. How do you romance? Are you still flirting with each other? Do you write each other notes? Do you send pics that you don't want them to open up in front of their coworkers?
And don't use the company phone. Use your personal phone.
Another one is being spontaneous. I think that makes you a great lover. When you're spontaneous, not just rudimentary, going through the motions, you're spontaneous. Like when we were younger, I remember my wife punked me out one time.
How?
We were in Collierville driving for lunch, and she's like, go over in that parking lot. I was like, for what? She said, come on, take me right now. I was like, I'm scared. And I'm like, ah.
But you know, thinking back to that, we could have got arrested. Right, you know, so don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But it was fun. It was fun.
Don't do that.
Can't do that.
No, I'm not trying to go to jail. Orange is not my color.
Be spontaneous. being realistically spontaneous. We don't want you to do anything illegal because we don't want you to say, well, my pastor said we can make love in the parking lot in Collierville. No, we didn't say that. We didn't say that.
We did not.
You didn't hear that from me, but you do want to be spontaneous, man. You know, I've driven home before. My wife met me at the garage with a birthday suit on. Those kind of things are spontaneous. Or she might come in while I'm studying, or I might go in and kiss her, or we might chase each other through the house.
Or we driving down the road in the countryside and you stop the car in the middle of the street and run in the field and gather flowers. You know, those kind of
Or
things.
get out, or pull over on a country road and get a blanket and go make love out in the fields. Those kind of things.
Hey.
I'm just trying to. I just wanted to see what she was going to say.
You know me.
I surely do. Number 9. Pay attention to what your lover's body is saying. I think what makes us good lovers is we know each other, and we can tell by just a flinch of the body if something was pleasurable or painful, or the way you breathe, the way you moan. It's like, okay, I need to stay right here. And I've learned that sometimes when my wife responds in pleasure, it doesn't mean for me to go harder. For her signal, that my signal is, okay, keep that pace, keep that pattern, don't break it. Because if I vary, she's gonna be like, why did you go different? I'm sorry. So I've had to learn that. So what I'm saying is, have you become such a good student of your spouse that you can read what their body's saying? What do you think?
I agree. And even before it gets to the bedroom, you know, if you notice that your wife or your husband is limping, you know, or there may be expressing some pain in their body somewhere, or, you know, have that verbal communication with them first, so you don't have to do that guesswork. We're trying to help you take the guesswork out of everything. There's no need to guess.
Notice the body. Read their body. That's what a good massage therapist does. I've been to some therapists before, and I can walk in the room, they're like, yeah.
You've been leaning on this, you're favoring that, yeah.
You've been doing a lot of driving. You've been sitting up in an airplane. They can read the body to know that certain body parts are more fatigued than others. And that's what you need to do for your lover. You need to be able to read their body. You want more affection here. You want me to rub here. You want me to stay right here for a little while. A good lover knows how to read the body like a mountaineer knows how to read the geography of the landscape. Do you know the landscape of your lover's body? What else makes me a good lover, babe?
Well, we're now in this space where we know that having an orgasm is not the goal. I know we mentioned it earlier, but making sure that you're staying present with one another, that you're enjoying the journey. And there's sometimes that an orgasm doesn't need to take place, whether this you're just making sure that you're connected to your spouse in some way.
You know what? Help me with that as a man. Help the men that are listening on this podcast. You said orgasm is not the goal. Many men are goal oriented. Hence, we love football. There's a goal. We love basketball.
There's a goal.
There's a goal. What then, my darling, is the goal of great sex?
The goal, I believe, of great sex is pleasing your spouse. Because sometimes you have to remove self from sex and making sure that she's okay. And that may be like, okay, well, I've given her hers first. I don't need one tonight. Hey, that may be good. Coddle her. Go fix her a turkey sandwich.
I was reading this book called The Multi-Orgasmic Couple, and they were talking about how to separate orgasm from ejaculation. And a lot of times men throw all of that in together. We equate an orgasm with ejaculation. But once that ejaculation occurs, we are so zonked out that a lot of times woman is still laying there like, because we made orgasm ejaculation our ending point, our goal, whereas the goal is to receive pleasure. Right. And so what the author of the book says is that when you feel yourself about ready to reach climax, to pull back, to breathe deeply, to transfer that energy from your genitalia into your body. And I think that's important that we take the time to enjoy the journey, the pleasure journey of pleasing your spouse. Spending more time, what is pleasing to my wife? Not just me reaching orgasm and going to sleep and then she's laying there for the rest of the night.
Right.
As a matter of fact, a great lover makes sure she gets hers first. So if nothing else, make sure your wife reaches her pleasure point, that she's feeling pleasure throughout. And if orgasm happens, wonderful. But sometimes you can have great sex and not even have an orgasm.
Right. Go in and say, hey, baby, it's all about you tonight. Don't worry about me. I'm taking care of you.
Yeah. So as a woman, do you really mean that when you don't have an orgasm, but you had sex? How is it that you feel like you're still fulfilled even though you didn't climax?
I feel like I'm still fulfilled because we've had that intimate connection. So we've exchanged, our energies together, and it's not always that an orgasm needs to be had that night or that afternoon or that morning, depending on your sex cycle. But it doesn't always mean that an orgasm is needed.
Is the orgasm, for those women who may not have experienced one, is it everything that people say that it is from a woman's perspective?
I believe every woman's explanation of their own orgasm is going to be different. Some may have a full body, some may just have a little peak, some may have some ebbs and flow. So it's going to be very different from each individual woman. Unfortunately, there are some women who have never had the pleasure of experiencing an orgasm, but that's a very small percentage of women.
You said previously there were years where you did not have one early on in our marriage, and then you discovered it and you was like, I want to keep this, I want to keep that feeling. Can you describe what it felt like when you finally arrived in that space where you could have one?
Well, one, it was odd. It was a different sensation than from before. And I think before, in my mind, I didn't allow myself to go there. I wasn't fully relaxed. I wasn't fully aroused. And I was young. I didn't properly know what really turned me on.
You didn't know your anatomy?
I knew my anatomy, but I did not know what all my pleasure points were. unlike a 54-year-old woman, me now, do. No.
So, as a recap for part 1 and part 2, we're now at the end working ourselves back to the beginning. What makes your lover so great that you finally were able to arrive at an orgasm after years of not having? Just recap what we talked about.
Well, one, that you know your spouse inside and out, that you're building communication together, that you're still having fun together, you're open to new experiences, that you're spontaneous.
You know your own
You're
pleasure
you know
points.
your own pleasure points. Did I say you're open to new experiences? So those things help you to become the only lover for your spouse, the best lover for your spouse, because you know what pleases yourself and you're able to not tell but coach your husband or your wife into what pleases you.
Have y'all ever had a new car, and you drove it for a while, and you realize, I don't know all the features on this car?
Oh, definitely.
Hello.
Hello.
Somebody has a couple-year-old truck that she's still figuring out how to drive, and what does this button do, and how do you use this?
It gets me from point A to point B. That's all
I was
know.
riding with Big John the other day, and he had a new Mercedes, and he had massage chairs,
Oh, wow.
and he didn't even know how to work it.
Oh, I would have fixed that the first week.
And the next time I got in, he's like, Pastor, I got you today. You want a classic massage, you want a heated massage, you want a shoulder massage. He had all these features that he had not tapped into because he had not taken the time to look at the manual. I'm listening. I'm going somewhere. A lot of y'all have luxury spouses. They got so many features and buttons you have not pushed yet because you have not taken the time to study the manual. All you do is get in the car, drive, and you're overlooking all these buttons, overlooking all these desires, all these fantasies, all these hidden pieces inside your spouse. And watch this, driving down the road, ooh, that's a nice car. Oh, that's a nice car. And you ain't even figured out the massage chair in your own car. You got features in your spouse. You got the lover. Like Prince said, you need another lover like you need a hole in your head. You don't need another lover. You just need to tap into the fullness of the one you already got. Ain't no woman like the one I got. Nobody can do me better. Listen, we hope that you've enjoyed this podcast on how to be a great lover. I have a great lover, no cap. She has a great lover,
no cap.
We ain't got a lot of kick it, Craig. And so I hope that those of you who feel the sincerity, y'all seen us, man. Y'all know we love each other, and we do. And we want you to experience that same kind of love. Listen, we told you last week that the rooms are full. I'm pretty sure that they're sold out. But if there's a chance that we could get some more rooms, let us know. We might have a little wiggle room, but that thing is in June 7th through the 9th. 7th through the 9th at the Hyatt Centric Hotel, Love in the Bluff. 20 plus rooms. Woo! We are going to have a great time. Yes. If you didn't make it this year, you better be there next year. Next year, I believe we're going to go to Cancun, Mexico. We're going to scout out a place pretty soon, and we're going to be back and let you know more about it. But our international retreat will be in Mexico of June of 2025. 2025 is going to be live. We're going to Mexico. We're going to go to Mexico, and we're going to go to the beach and have a wonderful time and show you how to be naked and unashamed in Mexico. So please get ready for that. And
update your passport.
Update your passport. Start saving your dimes. Get your bag together because we're going to have a wonderful time. We want you to pack your bags and go with us to Mexico next year. But in the meantime, don't forget Eden Circle. If you need some coaching from us, we've been married 31 years this year. If you need some coaching on how to put spice back in your marriage and you want a personal session with you and your spouse with us, we'll do that for you in Eden Circle. If you want to meet with us and have a masterclass monthly, we'll do that for you. If you want to come hang out with us quarterly, we'll do that for you. And watch this, probably in the fall, we're going to open up some intensives where you can come and stay the weekend in our house if you need it, to come stay in our house so we can work on some tough stuff together.
Right.
And y'all can spend some time with us right here in our home. If you'd like to do that, go to theedencircle.com, theedencircle.com, and become a part of our mentor inner circle. Would you like that? We'd love to do that for you. Anything else, babe?
No, we're so excited that you guys decided to come on this page. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share.
And you know what I told him last week?
What'd you tell them?
Don't be a secret lover.
Don't be one.
Oh, we love your podcast, but you ain't saying nothing. I need you to leave a comment, please, on all our YouTube channel, our podcast channels on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you are. Go there, leave a review, and share with your coworkers and your friends, especially your freaky friends, your saved, sanctified, sexual friends.
Y'all all having sex. So.
Right, but you might as well do it to where you can be naked and without
Right.
shame. All right, we love you guys, and we're going to holler at you later. Until next time, be blessed and stay naked and unashamed in your covenant relationship. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.